I just went and saw the highly dreaded Borderlands. And I see it getting blasted on Rotten Tomatoes. Right now, it's at a 6% from the critics. I hate the Rotten Tomatoes scores. I'll explain in a minute why. But this was a weird one for me because the movie was very annoying. The characters were super quippy. There was only a couple of them that were kind of interesting. It was very zany and over the top. But you could definitely see like the seedlings of good ideas. And I'm assuming that's from the games, since obviously that's what it's based on. But I haven't played the games. I feel like you can tell where they were going for certain things, but everything felt really rushed. But I actually did like some of the world like design and some of the action. It wasn't like superb action or anything. They just did a lot of little neat things, like mixing up the environments and using the environments. But overall, it's for me, since I'm not a Borderlands person, I've never played it. I don't have anything to be like upset or offended by. I mean, that's kind of how I was with Halo. Obviously, I was super pissed off. This, for me, as just a person who went into the movie knowing nothing, was just meh, just very generic in every capacity. It was pretty much like a shittier Guardians of the Galaxy. The plot is super straightforward. Lilith, played by Kate Blanchett's the main character. She's a bounty hunter, gets hired by this guy who runs the Atlas Corporation, which dominates everything in this world seemingly, to go get his daughter. And his daughter is on Pandora, which is where Lilith is from. And this is kind of a bitter thing for her. She hates her home planet. Everyone there is looking for this vault. You don't know what it is. And Lilith runs into Claptrap, this robot that's been waiting for her like her entire life. And Roland, played by Kevin Hart. And then Tina, who is the daughter. So that's a little group of 5. And then you have Krieg, who's the big idiot musclehead guy. So you can see where they have like the quirky group and each person has a distinct personality. But the movie was so rushed, they're each very one-dimensional. The only interesting character is probably Lilith. And then Tina is like kind of like there's a little bit they do with her, but not nearly as much as they could have. I assume this is all way more fleshed out in the games, obviously, because this movie was only an hour and a half. And I kind of wonder if this would be better suited for like a TV series than just a singular hour and a half movie. Roland is the one who found out what was going to happen to Tina, which is that she's the key to some vault and like a clone with this iridium blood, which you need to open the vault. And he took her, which is why Lilith got hired in the first place. And then all of Atlas's men go after them and they have to fight back. Pretty straightforward story. Overall, plot wise, it seems like it could have been interesting, but it was kind of jumping around a lot. They do a little bit of character stuff with Lilith, which I like Kate Blanchett. It seems like everyone was really miscast. I've only seen images from the games, so I don't really know. But I remember everyone being like really upset with the casting. And if you're a big fan, I definitely get it. The really big problem the movie has is primarily that it feels really rushed and doesn't have time to explain anything. And then every character is just nonstop quipping. Like if you've seen the trailer and like kind of the humor, quote unquote, that's like the whole movie. It's just nonstop. So even when there's serious moments, it's kind of jarring. And there are parts in there that are like, man, if this movie had been like better executed, it could have been a pretty good movie. Which is why I said it's a really weird one for me. Because, normally if a movie's terrible, it's just kind of terrible all around and just generally incompetent. But this one sort of feels like they were like on the cusp of good stuff in some places, but then like the dialogue is awful. And like Roland, Krieg obviously hardly talks, and Claptrap are all very one note. But I could imagine that in a more time generous setting, like a video game. Sorry for any fuck ups. I don't have time to edit. I'm driving like 10 hours at 4 in the morning, so I apologize halfway through the video. But like Claptrap is a good example of this. He's amusing as like the dry, kind of overly blunt robot character, but that's like all they do with him. And then Krieg is like kind of the big meathead, and I don't even understand why Roland takes him with him in the first place, because he's busting Tina out of prison. Krieg picks Tina up, and Roland's just like, "Hey, you want to help me?" And they literally refer to these guys as psychos or former psychos that are the inmates. So like, that's really weird. There's definitely a lot of contrivances and just really dumb shit throughout the movie. But I think the thing that is really getting this movie blasted, and this is kind of why I hate Rotten Tomatoes, is that it's just annoying. And it's nothing against like Tina, for instance, or really Jack Black as Claptrap. It's no one person in particular, but the movie is just kind of relentless with just quips that aren't really designed to make you laugh out loud, but they're also kind of nonstop and just you're being waterboarded with like not funny jokes the entire time. And this is a complaint that I made about Deadpool and Wolverine that people got pretty pissed off about. Is, you know, if you make a ton of jokes and it's just nonstop joke, if they're not landing, it's really hard to watch. And this one wasn't hard to watch, like cringy or anything. It was just annoying. Like everything was just so over the top and so stylized that it didn't really work. Like it just felt like too much, pretty much in every capacity. Like from the character designs to their personalities to the fact that we didn't really get to explore the world, but there is all this crazy ass technology all over the place that seems really cool. It's just a lot. And they just fucking jammed it all into this movie. And what I wanted to say about Rotten Tomatoes is the reason that I don't like it is primarily because, one, most people don't seem to understand how it works. They see like a 6% and they go, oh my God, worst movie ever. When really this movie to me is like just a generic, inoffensively meh movie. Like probably in, I don't know, like the 4 to 5 range. Now, maybe if I was a Borderlands fan, I might be a little bit more harsh. But this is just like a below average, kind of just a movie that will be forgotten. Probably by the time this video gets uploaded in about an hour. And there's not much to it, good or bad. But you can definitely see like the seedlings of a good idea. And Rotten Tomatoes, you know, if every person who watched it said, oh, you know, that movie is a 5, well, then it gets a 0. But if every person who watched it says, oh, it's a 6.5, then it gets 100. And people will go, oh, the critics love it. Certified fresh, blah, blah, blah. IMDb has it right now at about a 4.5. I think that's appropriate because that's what it is. It's just kind of a middling, inoffensive, forgettable movie with some decent little action scenes, some decent ideas and character designs and all that sort of thing. And the potential was there. They just didn't meet it. So I'm not going to keep droning on about it. I do wonder if maybe they might try to like recast this thing and do like a little Netflix series or whoever has the rights, because it might be more appropriate for this kind of story. It's hard for me to say definitively because I don't know the story, but the fact that it's a video game makes me think that it's probably pretty long and pretty expanded as far as the lore goes. And it would have been neat to find out more because you really just kind of get a barrage of shit with this movie, which is fine. I mean, there's nothing wrong with being kind of show don't tell. You get that with like something like Dune as well. But this, it was just a lot. And the movie just feels really fast paced and they fit a lot in. So, yeah, I doubt anyone's going to see this. But if you do, let me know what you think in the comments. I try to respond to all the comments that aren't just insults. Maybe I should go check out this game now if it's available on Xbox. It does seem interesting at least. And like and subscribe and all that shit. Thanks. See ya.